Hydrix True Value Hardware, making your life easier.
And joining us this morning on the best little home improvement show in the 4 states is the man himself from Hydrix True Value at 15th and National. That is Denny Hydrick. Denny, good morning.
Good morning, Larry. How are you doing?
It's Saturday morning. You can't help but feel great on a Saturday morning like
Saturday
this.
morning, nice weather.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A little bit of rain in the forecast tonight. I hope that it doesn't hit because tonight, graduation. We got a lot of students that are going to be walking across the stage.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Yeah,
I'm going to be in Wichita.
Yeah.
I've got some relation graduating out there.
Yep,
so.
it's that time of year, and we're going to have, these kids are going to be moving to college, they're going to be living in the dorms. Some of them are going to be moving into apartments or houses, and you know what's going to happen is they're going to experience some of those things that we've been telling them about a long time. They're going to have to learn how to change light bulbs and sweep the floor and all those things.
Things that Dad was always there to do for them.
That's true. One of those things. One of the things Dad's been there to do is to take care of those slow-running drains, or maybe those drains are all clogged up.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to talk about this morning. And I can't think of anybody that I know that we haven't had a conversation somewhere along the way of I can't get it to drain. I don't know what's going on with it. And boy, it can be frustrating to say the least. When the drain decides to clog, when you're trying to get ready to get to graduation, or you're trying to get ready for church, or trying to get ready for a wedding, and all of a sudden, boom, it won't drain. So
it picks the most inopportune time to plug up, it seems like.
And that's kind of on one spectrum where it's all clogged up. But we can do some things where we can maintain that, and hopefully we don't get those things all clogged up.
A little bit of preventive maintenance, hopefully, will keep you from having that. Or if you do have it, it's not just totally stops you in the tracks, and everything.
So we're going to talk about drain maintenance and repair today. And first, we're going to talk about maintaining your drains. And boy, I'm just trying to think in the back of my mind of all the sinks that we have in the house, and all of the showers and all of the pipes that are running through the house. There's a lot of maintenance there.
Yes, a lot of area for problems and stuff. And the more bathrooms you got, the more problems you have, and everything. Because bathrooms, first of all, we got, what causes a drain to plug up? It's the soap scum, or in other words, the stuff that comes off of our bodies and off of the, then goes down that drain. Well, it tends to cake the outside walls of the pipe on that. And then when hair goes down the drain, then the hair gets tied up into that, and that hair kind of, almost like a bird, builds a nest in your pipes and everything. So the first thing that you can do as far as preventive maintenance is put down a basket to capture the hair and stuff like that. So it'll stay, and then you have to clean that out maybe every time you take a shower.
So maybe a little strainer type thing on top of it.
They make a strainer that will go right over the top of it.
Okay.
On that. Doesn't have to go down inside. It just sets up, it's got a raised dome on it. So like if you got a bathtub with a stopper type deal, it'll go right over the top of that, and it'll keep the hair out of there. But hair and soap scum are the big culprits in the bathroom and the lavatories on that. Then you get into the kitchen, you've got the grease that you're washing down the dishes and stuff like that that's going down the drain. It acts along with the soap scum from the detergents, and everything. And then you get particles of stuff that you're washing down the drain, and it tends to plug it up too. So those are the things that we want. Those are the culprits we want to work for. And the biggest thing to do is anytime you see any hair, don't try to flush it down the drain. Make sure and grab it. And I know you don't like to do it. Grab it and throw it in the trash can.
It feels nasty.
Yes, they are. It is that way. And also too, it's very stinky when you're using a chemical. That's when you use a drain chemical, when it burns through that hair, boy, it really stinks.
Should I use some type of a cleaner or something on a maintenance basis to pour down the drain?
There's a good home remedy method that if you take and put a quarter of a cup of vinegar with a tablespoon of baking soda.
Right.
And you mix it together, and then you pour it down the drain, and you let it sit there. You want to let it sit there for half an hour to an hour.
Sure.
Okay, and it'll kind of soften that stuff up, and then you flush it with good hot water.
Okay.
On that, because that baking soda, when baking soda hits water, generally it fluffs up and everything, and that's what kind of helps it get out and attach to the sidewalls of the pipe.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, well, I've got a slow moving drain. They'll come into the store and they want to buy a drain cleaner. Well, there is now a product out that will work the same way, but most drain cleaners in that type of an application aren't going to do you any good on that, because most drain cleaners, the chemical type of drain cleaners, are designed to, they're heavy, sulfuric acid's heavier than water. It flows down through the water and it lands on top of the clog. So you've got a hair matted mess, on top of the clog. So it goes down and it lands on that, and then it burns its way through it, is how the sulfuric acid works. So when you got a slow moving drain, you don't have that plug sitting there. You've got a restriction. In other words, the walls are caked up. But what you need is a drain cleaner that expands. And there is a couple on the market today that when you pour it down, when it hits the water and everything mixes with it, then it expands up, foams out to the sidewalls of the pipe, and then it works against that gunk that's on the sidewall of the pipe and releases it. So if you got a slow moving drain, don't waste your money on pouring a regular drain cleaner down the drain, because it's not going to help.
All right, there you go. So get the other kind that just came out on the market, the kind that expands. If you're going to try
it expands out, or try the home remedy method of the vinegar and the baking soda, because baking soda kind of does the same thing, puts it up against the sidewalls of the pipe.
All right. So that's the maintenance of the site.
Right.
Now.
And a monthly.
Yeah.
Probably ought to do that on a monthly basis.
Oh, yeah. And maybe a little often if you've got 4 or 5 kids in the house. And,
yes. Yeah.
Well, I don't have to worry about losing much more hair as
and if you got, it depends on the number of females in the house.
Yeah.
Because that
no
really,
offense.
No offense on that, but that really intensifies your drain problems.
All right. Now, if I've got a drain and it's running, it's draining, but it's not draining very quickly, is that the time to attack it, or should I wait till it's completely clogged up and then try to fix it?
Yeah, no, you can. There is some things you can do.
Okay.
You can plunge is one of the things. Now, plunger will.
That's the old-fashioned way.
That's the old-fashioned way, and that plunger will sometimes, if it's restricted enough, it can get enough bite on the clog or the thing that's causing the problem when you're plunging that sometimes you can. Generally, you get more done with a plunger on the upstroke of the plunger.
Sure.
You're pulling it back up into the sink. And so sometimes that's all you need to do on a slow drain, and it may take care of the problem totally on that. But the couple keys on plunging that you got to remember is that drains can't drain unless they've got they've got to have a source of air to suck with. Okay, so you've got vents in most everything. If you lavatory, on the lavatory sink, a lot of times we don't ever see it because we're looking at the back side of the sink. But on the front side of the sink, most instances there's a hole. Right there. Okay, that's where it gets its air for the drain to work properly. So when you're plunging, you want to cover up those holes, because otherwise all the plunging pressure is going to come up through there and not go down to the clog or not go down to the pipe. Bathtubs, if you got a trip lever, a lot of times that area that it sucks air from is underneath of that trip area, so you need to cover that area up. In a kitchen, especially if you've got a dishwasher hooked up to a garbage disposal or a dishwasher hooked up, period. You want to take maybe a clamp, a C-clamp, or take a pair of vice grips, and you pinch off that hose that runs to the dishwasher. That drain hose to the dishwasher, because you can be, whatever you plunge might be plunging up into your dishwasher, and you don't want that stuff in with your dishes and everything. And plus, it's another area that you lose pressure to the clog. on that. So, and again, like I say, you do more with the upstroke on a plunger. You push hard, but then pull up good and hard. And a lot of times you can pull the stuff up out of it.
Yeah, and sometimes the stuff that comes out when you're plunging is not the most pleasant material that comes up.
Right,
so
exactly.
Just got to be prepared to grab it and throw it in the trash as soon as it comes up.
Exactly right.
All right. Now, a plunger is one of those tools that's a basic thing every house should have.
Should
Unfortunately, some houses don't have these. Does Hydrix True Value still sell the old plunger?
The old rubber cup plunger, we have that. And then we have the newfangled high volume plungers.
The big power plunger.
Yes.
That's what we call that one.
It's got the bellows on it, and it sticks up real high and everything. Man, that baby will really push some air down through there. And then another method that we have is, and you can use it on some instances you can. You have to have a pretty open line. An ideal place to use it is down a laundry drain chute. But it's a bellow that you screw on the end of a garden hose. I don't know if you've ever seen those or not, Larry. And you push those down and as far as you can get them down. You want to make sure they're inside of the pipe. And then you turn the water on to the garden hose, and then what happens, that water builds up inside of that bellow, and then when it reaches the outside of the pipe, then it sends a strong gush of water down through the pipe, and generally that'll blow out what your problem is too.
All right, so that's another way to do that.
That's another method. And then, of course, you can also use snakes. They make, especially for your kitchen or your bathroom drains and stuff, they make a little tool that is about 18 inches long that has a bunch of little hooks on it, and you feed it down into the trap or down into the drain, and you can pull back up nice big globs of hair. So that's another thing sometimes that can be used. Now these are if it's slow moving, then it's not a real major plug. You're not going to clean a major plug with something like that.
Okay. All right. Now one thing that I've used most all those methods. In fact, I've used all those methods to clean. There was a few times though that no matter what I did, I couldn't get it to drain right. So what I ended up doing was taking off the trap and then ended up just cleaning that by hand. I mean, just running something through it because it was a shorter piece, just running something through it, get it all nice and clean, hook it back up, and never had another problem with it.
Right. And that's the very first place to look when you do have, especially in, everything has a trap. Because that trap, the purpose of that trap is water stays in it, so it does not let the stink and the smell come back up through the pipes and everything. But yeah, it's a very big source of problems. Now, in a bathtub, you really can't get to it, but you sure can underneath of the kitchen sink, underneath of the bathroom sink, you can get to it. So that's one of the very first places to look on that. And we even used to carry, and it didn't sell very well, so we don't carry them anymore. Some ingenious guy, designed one that had a pedal in it, or a little deal that you spun, and it would clean the clog down. On that. Now, whether it also added to make it easier to clog up, I don't know.
Yeah, that could be true. I in my stocking for Christmas several years ago, I got it's a little thing you push in the drain, and it's got like little burrs on the side.
Yes.
And it's called a zip cleaner, I think.
Right.
And it's only probably 18 inches long, but that has helped at times to get stuff cleaned out.
It'll get that hair out of there and stuff like that. Yeah, it's made mostly for your lavatories and your bathroom sink or bathroom showers and tubs and stuff. But yeah, it'll save you sometimes there.
All right. Now, my question is, these items, whether I'm looking for something chemical, maybe I need a plunger, maybe I need the little zip cleaner, things like that. Can I get all those at Hydrix True Value?
We have all of them.
Wow.
We have all of them. Now, the one thing I would recommend on the chemical, if you're down to that should be your last method of solving the problem.
Yeah. What I learned was, because I learned this the hard way. I used the chemical, then I had to go in and start doing everything by hand, and there was still lingering chemical in the trap and in the places that I had to get into.
Absolutely. It can burn your hands and everything else like that. Also with chemical, when you're using chemical, you should at all times, every method we talked about, you should wear some goggles or safety glasses, especially with chemical, because that chemical, when it hits the water, sometimes it can
react there.
pop up, and everything, and pop into your eyes, and that's a very, very bad burn that you'll get there. So you want to be very, very careful there, and that's why you always, and that's exactly right, Larry. That's why you always use chemical as the very last thing, because you don't want to put chemical down and then try to do the plunging, because then you're bringing chemical back up into your sink and everything. It's just not a good way to do it on there.
All right, so that is how to get those gone. Now, if I need to step it up a little bit, is there anything in the rental department at Just Gas Rental that I could get, like the snake and the things like that, if I want to clean out these drains?
Absolutely. Now, if everything in the house is slow on that, okay, that generally means that you've got a clog in the pipe going out to the city's
we call it
sewer
the main
system.
line there.
The main line, exactly right. And we've got a number of different things that you can use on that. We have snakes of different lengths, of different sizes, some that have electric motors. The one thing, though, that I want to caution people on is, when we ask you, when you come in to rent one of them, we're going to ask you if you've ever used one before. Please be honest with us on that.
Sure.
Yeah, right. Don't just give us that off the cuff answer, because they are dangerous tools to operate. And you must be very, very careful, because what makes them work is the torsion that they have inside of that cable. And that torsion, if you get too much excess out that's not fed down into the drain, it can kink on your wrist while you've got it in there.
Oh, sure.
And if you've got 50 foot down the drain and that thing keeps tightening up around your wrist before you can get the rest of it out, you're going to have some serious damage done to your wrist. So that's the only reason we ask you if you've ever used one before, is we want to make sure and tell you how to use it properly and safely. You always use gloves. You should probably use gloves with everything that we've talked about.
Sure, yeah.
And everything, because you don't know what's in that drain or what's on that stuff coming out, and everything. But those are just words of caution. But we do have that. And then we were talking about an instance that you had, and everything there, and one that we rent a lot to the restaurants and stuff, is that restaurants, they have a lot of grease. We have a lot of grease go down our kitchen sinks, but you can imagine if that's 10, 20, 30 times the volume, in a restaurant atmosphere. But this is what they call a jetter, and it works with water. You screw a garden hose onto it. It's somewhat similar to a pressure washer, but it's a pressure washer for the inside of your pipes.
Okay.
On that, and basically it's got kind of an arrowhead nozzle on the end of it. Water shoots directly out of the middle of it. That's what blows a hole through the clog on that. But then after you get it through the clog, then you work it up and down in the pipe, and it's got nozzles that are angled at the back of the pipe, and so that's what cleans that and slicks all that grease and everything off of the pipes.
Okay.
So if you're having a consistent problem, you clean it out, and boy, here next month you have that same problem again. You clean it out, and if you're having to do it quite often, I would highly recommend that maybe this might be the tool that would work the best for you.
And is this something that only I can use in the main line, or is this something that I can use on if I can get my tub and things like that? Yeah,
we've got small enough ones that you can use it in down to a small. Now, you don't want to use it in the slip joint drain stuff. Okay, that slip joint drain stuff would be anything above the floor of the cabinet. That's all, that's if you ever do anything with a real heavy duty plunger or anything like that, that stuff all needs to come out because it's not airtight.
Right.
On that. But this is going to clean all of the hard piping, everything that's glued together. This is what this will work for. And we've got different size ends so that you can clean inside of the house. You can clean outside of the house too if you need to. But mostly it's made for indoors, inside.
All right. Well, it sounds like no matter if it's just I need to maintain the good drains that I have, or improve the draining that I've got that's running slow, or maybe I've got a full-on clog, anything I need, I can find it at Hydrix True Value.
Yeah, I think we can help you out on it. And then if not, if you just don't want to mess with it, that's the time you want to call that plumber.
Yeah,
And everything. They'll be able to take care of it for you for sure, but it'll cost you a little bit of moolah.
Yeah, it's always good. I was raised in a household where we try to fix it ourselves,
Right.
And then move on to the experts. So,
Into the experts, yes. Yeah. At least give it a shot.
Yeah, see if you can.
That's what I was always taught too. Is,
Yeah.
You got to try it first yourself.
And then see what happens. Let the chips fall where they may. So
Yeah.
now, if you've got a slow running drain, maybe you've got a clog today, guess what? You can get into Hydrix True Value right now. They're going to be open until 6 o'clock tonight. That includes the Just Gas Rental Center next door. So if you need that snake, you need that auger, you need this tip, this jetter that we talked about, you can get that all the way up until 6 o'clock tonight. And if you're driving around thinking, man, I'd really like to do it tomorrow afternoon, but I don't know if they're open or not. You are open tomorrow.
We are open tomorrow, 1 to 5. So if you want, we can get you fixed up there. And a lot of times, we have a 4-hour rate on a lot of that.
Yeah.
And if you get right to it and get going on it and everything, you can generally get most of them solved in a 4-hour period.
Yeah. And by the time you get the tools to be able to do it, you should have your drain open and ready for the tool to go in there anyway. So
that way
don't wait till you get home to do it. So.
Yeah, to do that. It's a smart way.
Yeah, because if you're like me, you're going to find 2 other problems while you're trying to solve the first one.
Exactly.
Like that's it.
When it comes to plumbing, that's what a lot of times you run into with plumbing.
That's why we make lots of trips to Hydrix True Value when we start that project around the home. So, Just Gas Rental Center, they've got what you need to help with the drains. If you're looking for chemicals, you're looking for the plumber or the plunger, looking for the tools to take care of it that way, you can also find that at Hydrix True Value, 15th and National right here in Fort Scott. So, Denny, we appreciate you coming by today. May your drains run free this
absolutely.
weekend.
That's what we hope.
Hey, as always, we appreciate you taking time to come by. Oh, before you go, because we had people ask me, stop me on the street and say, hey, what's the web address for Hydrix True Value?
Okay.
We need to pass that along this morning.
Right, yeah, okay. And this will be located right on that. Mm-hmm. It's hydrictruevalue.com.
All right.
On that. And you can go to it that way. I've also posted this on Facebook. And then we also, once a month, we send these radio shows, and they'll be posted on the website also.
All right, so you can find if you like one of these shows, want to hear it again, you can find it there. Just log on to hydrictruevalue.com, and just look around there, and you'll be able to find not just this, but all sorts of other things as well. So that's the great thing. A list of projects to get done around the home. So, Denny, again, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in.
We always enjoy it.
You bet. Denny Hydrix, our guest this morning on the best little home improvement show in the 4 states.
Hydrix True Value.